All right, guys, get out your notes. We're going to take about 4 slides, and then we're going to do a little quiz at the end on those 4 slides. You've already done them. And it's a Kahoot, and the top 3 in the Kahoot are they get extra credit. So, I would pay attention to what I'm saying. And if you've already taken the notes, I would still pay attention to what I'm saying.
Wait, can my voice be in the video?
Yeah. Okay, so yesterday we talked about Italy, the unification of Italy. Today we're going to talk about Germany, which moving forward, especially in Europe, but throughout the world, is a very big deal when it unifies. So, before this time, this is the time period we're kind of talking about here is like 1850s around 1880s. But before this period, Germany, what it is today, was a bunch of little principalities. So they're all kind of their own little thing. They weren't really ruled by anyone. But there were 2 major ones. One we'd already talked about. He's a really big player. I don't know if we talked about it. The Austrians, who actually do speak German. If you go to Austria, they speak German. They're just a little fancier than the rest of the Germans. And then there was Prussia. And Prussia, and so these 2 empires, Prussia and Austria, they at this time were kind of fighting over who was gonna unify the rest of the Germans. Because all these other little principalities, they spoke German, they were German, they just had their own little kind of thing. But Prussia had a couple advantages. They had the bigger population, and they were more German. What was a big thing of Austria's empire that we talked about? What was kind of a problem with them? We talked about it in previous days. They were more diverse, right? They had a bunch of different people within their empire, so it made it harder for them to rule. Prussia, on the other hand, almost entirely German, so it's a lot easier for them to bring in these other little principalities who were also German. They also had a powerful army. We talked about this again. Prussia, known for being very militaristic and having a really good army. And they also had a liberal constitution. The Austrians, very much where there's the emperor and everyone else. The Germans actually had, they had a constitution and governing body. They had a place called the Reichstag, which is basically their parliament, their Congress, as you say. And so they did have some, the people had some ability to stop the king from doing things. So it was more popular, or more appealing, I guess you could say, for the other little German states. Everyone have it? Good. Cool. So here's a picture of kind of what Germany looked like before. So you got Prussia up here in the big pink, you got Austria right here, and then this weird like patchwork of little different colors. Those are all the different little principalities. And even today, you have a little country called Liechtenstein, which is about there. It's about the size of like Chico, but it's its own little country. It's like the last of the little principalities that didn't join Germany.
How big is it?
It's like around the size of Chico. It's basically like one town.
Is it like a few square miles?
I'm not sure what the mileage is. It's a single valley and like okay. So the main guy behind this kind of unification of Prussia taking over is Bismarck. He is a Junker, which is basically just another name for a noble, the German name for a noble.
It's not pronounced Junker.
No, because in German,
Oh yeah, in German
pronounce
the J
it
makes
yeah.
a Y sound.
and you also also in German. How do you pronounce your W's in German? Anyone know? Same in Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah. The W makes a B sound.
Makes a B sound. So there is every fun stuff like that. Otto von Bismarck, he was a major noble at the time. He gained a lot of power, and he followed this philosophy of realpolitik, which basically means that instead of following a thing like I'm ordained by God, and that's why we're going to conquer you because we're ordained by God. Realpolitik says we have a bigger army. Let's go take over these guys. We're good. We got everything we need. Let's figure that out. And so, not a lot of the Prussian parliament actually wanted to take over these other things. They just kind of wanted to consolidate what they had. But Bismarck was like, well, all these other Germans really seemed like they could benefit from Prussia kind of taking over. So Bismarck, he became the prime minister for Prussia, and he went around the parliament that they had. And so what he did is he got Austria to join him to fight Denmark, and they took a little bit of territory from Denmark that had Germans in it, and they gained 2 provinces. And this kind of made Prussia a little bit popular because they were like taking some German states back from them. But he made it hard for Austria because territories that they got, Austria's down here, the territories that they got were way up here, Schleswig-Holstein. And so Prussia got one right here, but Austria got this top one, and it's really hard to control a little land that's all the way over there. So eventually, Prussia just gained that too because Austria didn't really want it. Nope. My bad. Everyone have that slide? You go down the slide. Okay. There's Bismarck with the pointy hat. All the Germans at this time had pointy hats. Don't ask me why, I'm actually not sure. Okay. So you got Prussia and Austria, they're vying for power and all that. And so Bismarck creates this border dispute, like I said, with Austria over these 2 provinces. And eventually, he just invades Austria, and they do it really, really quickly. And he kind of basically, to the other little principalities there, he's saying, we're actually the really good Germans, we're the more powerful ones. And these Austrians, you can't really trust them to actually protect you. So he gains a lot, Prussia gains a lot of popularity after this too. And then, to really, he gets most of those little principalities to join him. But to get the most western ones right next to France, he decides he needs to go to war with France, because France is the other big power here. So what he does is he tries to provoke a war with France. And what he does is he gets the French ambassador to come. And basically, Prussia wanted this one king on the throne of Spain, France wanted this other one. And he writes down what the French ambassador said about this, which wasn't good. He said these terrible things about the Prussian king. And he publicizes what this ambassador said into a newspaper. And so it gets the Germans really, really mad, and it gets the French really, really mad. And Louis Napoleon, France, he actually declares war on Germany. So Bismarck gets the other country that he wants to invade to declare war on him. Is that a pretty good idea? It is a good idea, because then that means you're not the aggressor, you're not the guy going, you're getting the French to attack you and going, they're attacking me, that means I have to invade them. Which Russia kind of wants to be like that right now. And eventually, they conquered all through France. They had better guns when you get bolt actions and stuff instead of the muzzle loaders. Germany had a lot more bolt actions than we do. And they get the Prussian king that eventually becomes the German emperor. And he's declared Kaiser, which just means like related to Caesar. It basically just means emperor, at the Palace of Versailles. What was Versailles again? Anyone tell me? Anyone? No? You guys don't remember what Versailles was?
The Palace of Versailles?
Yeah. What was it?
Palace in France, it was like a free palace.
Yeah, it was where all the French kings were. So the Germans basically walked into the palace where the French kings were, not anymore, but, and they proclaimed their empire in the French palace, which is a pretty big, like, screw you guys. And they're eventually united. And they, after this, kind of become the most powerful country, at least on the mainland, and France loses a lot of the power that they have. Just because of Germany gaining all these areas with a lot of population, a lot of industrial ability. Everyone got this one? Yep. Here's a picture of kind of what it comes out to. So they gained all those little tiny principalities, they all gobbled it up. It becomes Germany, controlled by what was Prussia. Austria and France kind of lose out. And what really sucks for the French is that they lose actually some territory down here, and later on in World War I is going to be a very big reason for why World War I starts. Because the French never forget, and they will always try to take back their territory. Okay, last slide. So like I said, this is a really big shift in power. Now that Germany is unified, they have all this land, they have all this ability. Once you get a bunch of people, you have a lot more soldiers, you have a lot more capability of doing more. So in 1815, after Napoleon was defeated and all that, you really had Austria, Prussia, Britain, France, and Russia were the major players. But in 1871, after Germany's unified, you really just had Britain and Prussia as the big major players. They're mostly vying for power, whereas Austria and Russia, as we talked about before, what was happening to them?
They were fighting each other.
Yeah, they were fighting each other, but what was happening? Why were they not as stable as these other places, Austria and Russia? What?
Different cultures.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different cultures, especially Austria. They had made up of 10 different cultures and little things. Russia was even more. They were just super brutal, and no one liked them. Does anyone know if it's a forest fire or if it's just the smoke outside?
I think it's just smoke. I get it was burning earlier
It
today.
is burning. Yeah.
That's California again.
Yeah, no, I don't. You never know. Okay. Do y'all got the slide down? Do you? Okay. For that play code, just to review kind of this last material here. So you can get out your phone, get out your laptop, whatever you want to use. And again, the top three, I'm going to give extra credit to. Okay, here's your pen. You guys all know how to do creators, right? We play enough creators. I was guessing.
Oh.
And please do your actual
I
name
have to ask.
so that I can give you credit.
It's not actually that.
No, I'm not supposed to send it. Sí.
You guys about like 15-ish more seconds to get in. Oh, they're limit reach. That was like limit. Wow, that's not good. Well, I'm wondering if I have to like back all the way out and change that. I didn't even know there wasn't. You could set up one. Hang on, I'm gonna have to restart that. Enter on this so you actually can see the answer. What? So you don't see the answers? One second.
No, porque si deja que me lo hagan. No, pues no.
What's up?
His name,
Switch name.
like Alan has my name and I have his name.
Just so when you get extra credit, Alan's gonna give the extra credit.
Yeah, you know, it's me.
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Do I have to my name?
No,
Yes.
I didn't mean to do that. You don't have words. How do you know?
Anyone know how to change that?
change what?
The person?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Angela know how to, but you need to go to Scandinavia.
I didn't even know there was I've never seen it.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm on the edit. Like, I don't see the option. I don't want to not have all of you participate. That's not really fair.
Gracious.
That sucks.
How many people are there?
No, you can have
Like
more.
41?
Yeah, how do you have more?
I'm looking it up.
There was more in Spanish.
Yeah, no, I know you can. I know you can have more than 20.
How many people are there in this country?
26.
Oh, well, those 26 can't. Those 26 that want to be in the video.
It varies for your subscription.
You know what? I just missed the 5. I've had it. Excuse me. Excuse me. About $12.
No, it's what I didn't want. He says, I didn't want.
What's up? That's really dumb.
Are you pay more?
Yeah, you guys work together, I'll give you extra credit both.
So when you do it or whatever, do like.
So, dude, yeah, if you want to work in like pairs, I don't know why I've never seen that before.
And they work in pairs.
If you want to work in pairs, you can work in pairs, but just like put your name in the same one. No, you cannot do groups of 3. That's too many. No groups of 3, just pairs.
Can I put N for Nico and Alex?
Just do.
No.
You the other people? Since you're gonna share credit anyway.
I know the whole and
That's all I think. It's probably in like before I started. I've done these before and I've never had that problem before.
Nada.
That would. Who's gonna lose business? That's a new update. No, you're gonna stay where you are. You don't need to. Yeah.
I'll just write my name in. I'll never
Ten-ish more seconds. Who's still trying to connect? Are we good? We all in? Alright, starting it.
I've never heard guess one.
Alright, you guys ready? Which two countries fought for dominance over Germany? Which one could it be? Guys! Really?
But Australian country.
It was Prussia and Austria. Russia was not fighting over that. So at the beginning, you got the two guys fighting for dominance over the German-speaking area. You got Prussia and Austria. Okay.
I didn't know.
You guys can come back from that. You guys can come back from that. Jackson, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And we got Aubrey, Angela, and Nico and Alan. All right. That's a little surprising, but anyway. Okay. What's up? Okay.
I'll play for
Who was the mastermind behind German unification? What was that guy's name?
What's a bunch of good things?
Don't say it out loud so the people get it.
I think I got it.
I just write. I don't know.
If you just write notes but don't understand what you're writing down.
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing.
Good job, guys. That was a lot better. That was a lot better. It was Otto von Bismarck. Did you like German McDermott face? I was trying to throw it on.
That was a good one. Who picked it? Who was the first of them?
How much people are there?
Okay, Jackson, Nico. Which state capital is named after him? American state. What state has a capital named after? This is just like a random. We didn't actually talk about it. I just wanted to throw it out. I just want to see what you guys think. You guys know your state capitals?
Okay, got it.
I'm excited for the game.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. All right. All right. Majority of them. Yes. Bismarck, North Dakota. It's because a bunch of Germans moved there and they were like, let's name it after this guy.
Give me Sacramento.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Miguel, moving up. All right, what was the name of the noble class in Germany? Mentioned it. That's a picture of
No.
a noble, a German noble. Good
Good
job, guys. All right. Still a little bit of time. Where was Wilhelm? He was the Prussian king. I don't know if I actually said his name or not. Crowned Kaiser. What? Where was he crowned?
That's in the video.
Talked about it at the very end. I'll give you a hint. It's not Versace.
Yeah, I got it right. Just
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'll give you one thing though. Versailles is very, very close to Paris, but it is technically not Paris. It's outside of Paris. So, technicality is Versailles. Okay.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, that was it?
Oh, that was it?
Alright.
Yeah.
I should have put more in there. Milani coming out
Wait,
of
we're
nowhere.
working together. Just saying.
Were you actually working together? You didn't
Yeah.
have both your names on it.
And I'm around there.
All I see is Milani. Alright, I'm gonna write this down.
You're gonna say.
Good job, Jackson. I'm proud of you. Our namesake.
You didn't put my name on there.
Let's do it again.
Okay,
That's why I put mine.
so that was kind of all the lecture stuff I had for you today. But your the quiz for the pyramid quiz is on Thursday, right? Yeah, tomorrow. And then you also need to have done your the questions and the timeline that was in that note. Do you guys remember the timeline I'm talking about? Yes. Right? By tomorrow? Yes. Yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about when I'm saying the timeline?
Yeah.
It was in the notes. I can pull it up after. I just gotta get these names down. So you guys got about 20-ish minutes to work on that, so you don't have so you can get it done for tomorrow. What's up? The questions, yes. There's 11 questions that you should have been working on throughout the unit. So you should have had time to work on it. So I suggest trying to finish it today. Nico, what did I just say?
You should have had time to work on it, so.
The questions
The questions.
for the unit. The unit
Tomorrow?
questions. Yes. What's up? What's up?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Why you
So what did that pyramid? What made up that pyramid? In the notes. Do you remember? Go look on the slide. Yeah. So what's like the on that pyramid? This is also a good practice for that test for the quiz. So what's kind of making up that pyramid? Yeah, but like what's like dominant like each like what is that? Like what would you say those are each section? They're like races, right? Or like different ethnicities. And so you got like the Peninsulares on the very top. You got the Spanish people. Yeah, mulattoes. So they're each level is a different racial category race. We'll find out tomorrow. It did include it. Okay. Let me also pull up that. Aubrey, what are you doing?
Working on the questions.
And you guys have completely done
You have paper?
all
Yeah.
the stuff that was.
You have paper?
Not for you.
I was kind of standing
See
there.
how rich he is.
All right, let me pull up that timeline so you guys know what I'm. Just for reference. Yes.
Oh,
I've been
no.
noticing that too, right? Emily's agreed you have recycles in the same.
So what is the third quarter? We'll come back to that one.
I'm sorry, kind of messed up.
We had like every genre of like songs in there. Rap, we had. No. There's like a slow music and we have fast too.
Okay, so yeah, so there's that timeline that we were talking about. You want each of those dates,
Yeah, I got more.
Isabel, Angela, each of the dates to have thing connected to it, right? And you're gonna do that on a separate piece of paper, again, attach it with, you want it with the notes? The timeline? Separate piece of paper.
The timeline's separate.
Do I have blank white back?
Wait, the notes and the questions are due tomorrow?
Yes.
Not,
We just finished the unit.
What? Is this kind of
Yeah, that's perfect.
We did a race yesterday.
That's No, it's not big.
I'm alright with it. Like, even when it's slows down,
Yes, that's due tomorrow, the questions are due tomorrow, and that's due tomorrow. So you guys should have something to work on.
You talking to me?
Oh, that would make it seem like.
It's because I thought she was talking to you. I was like,
Mine wasn't responding and then she went this way and I'm like, wait, I was fucking like,
oh,
no.
what did you say?
We're happy to coach everything is up down on with the bags and
Oh, wait.
yeah, like I just like this time, but I really don't want to do
So sorry. Working on stuff?
This Saturday, what are you guys gonna watch? Oh my god. I'm going.
You see this? So,
Timeline? So you're just, so the timeline is just each of these dates, you're gonna connect those things to that timeline. And we talked about a lot of those things in the notes, but you're also gonna have to use.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay, they're right here. Do I write them exactly?
I'll bring it in here. You want to make it clear?
That
These
is
terms.
like a narrow.
No, just do like, so you're gonna write that timeline out, right? And then each of the sections just kind of do like a line down. Does that make sense?
Mr. Mayor.
So like, say you have this timeline up here right here, just this square kind of thing, for each of these lines, just do like a line down, and then whatever event is there. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. You can write out something else, I'll say.
Okay, so I write it right here.
I don't know, but I'm not going to today. That's
No. So you're actually going,
I'm not
so,
going to sleep for like
I don't,
4 weeks.
let's say you like count the timeline. Yeah, then like here,
Like
or
every
here.
day, like,
Yeah, good. Makes sense.
a little bit.
Just the first one. And then.
Those are things that will go in.
Oh, and what about these? Oh, what happened?
I'm not gonna cover the minus.
Those two?
I was.
Yes.
And what's the year at?
You want and Tampa apart.
It's just, these are your.
I'm gonna be up like.
Okay, so those are
No, they, well, you're gonna have something like goes with each. So you're gonna kind of go back.
Wait, so friend is the one of these and one of these.
But not at the here.
Yeah, not each of them is then a pound.
It's called the Warriors.
Eric, did you have a question?
Yeah, okay.
Where does it say when you was in the
We've done it before that. Like a whole bunch of my times.
I feel like that's cool. Like, your house is
We didn't like find it.
Oh yeah, your mom was telling us how like a while back that you made. I did camping and you had a road like the campsite. Camp one. She's like, and so when I run, was driving so nice.
Yeah, I was the biggest hit. And then that's how you go. That was kind of.
So Cesar.
I actually want to do that.
I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah, you can type like this.
Yeah. That's what I was
80, 41.
Did you get everything done?
I'm doing it.
80, 41.
You're obvious.
So if I come and look at your phone,
Pretty good.
Turn
So,
on my phone.
you said that the Zoom for the TV thing is today from 3 to 4? The link says it's 8:24.
I'm gonna turn back on my phone to do it.
Yeah, because it's just not opening, so I don't know if she's late or.
One, two, three. Three packs, 1 case. After that, another data.
No, it's a very general question.
We're counting in downtown Chico.
Yeah.
There's no like campsites there though. I was like campsites. They have like 3 bikes too.
No, if we're going camping anyway, it's gonna be your house, all we have to go to
So you got the radicals, and Lucas and stuff, so you got like the different. I'm working with everything.
So then,
That's kind of what we're talking
your
about.
parents are probably mine, mine was like all of my everything.
Yeah, my parents don't care, but that's it. I don't want to be running to my house. I do mine online. Oh, it's only in this time.
it's only in this class that you don't do it.
Why do we take so much notes?
We have a lot of information that we can throw out here.
Why did I choose to actually do that? I like this. Why did Jesse come?
Wait, so like,
Social science. Social science. Why am I here? Because I want to teach history.
wait, so teachers too, do they have like good memory? Teachers too, do you have good memory?
It's really like that now, and he's like,
Yeah.
like what I just said, because I didn't
So you're just being serious.
I'm very serious all the time.
What is it? I'm very serious. Check out the
Yeah.
I think come like.
You wanna see a video?
I'm making good right now.
You still got time.
Just kind of do like 20 now.
Probably a long time ago. I don't know. They say I look
Not
really
really
good.
like that, but like,
It looks like a good video. And the end is like, no.
Also just
I put like 1796. You know what's good on 1796?
yeah, he's mainly looking for those things. Angel, did you have a question?
You know what's good after the book?
You can also talk about the monarchists who wanted the king. They would fight the radicals who didn't.
But a little bit skinny.
He said so much stuff.
So less chubby than
I'm surprised you didn't send
Yeah, I'm sure you can, because you Keep that.
That's for no. There were like 3 videos and then like 3.
Actually, he was
We have so much pictures of food here.
You gotta look it up. Use your notes, use your book.
I'm not gonna just give you the answer. If you have it written down and I can see what you've written down, I can say if that's like correct or not, but I'm not gonna just give you an answer.
Is this the exact next one from the last one that you asked about? Was So, the Balkans are kind of where a lot of Austrian territory was, so what was the big thing with Austria? Like, what was their big problem in Austria? Yeah, you had a diverse population, right? They were kind of like all wanted their own thing. So this question is asking about, what's the main issue? So like politically and socially, what's that mean? What's going on? Does that make sense? I didn't copy. Thanks. The questions are, the answers are, the information, yes. Sí, te parece que viste qué? ¿Tienes preguntas?
You have your book, you have your notes, you can. What did I just say? Good job.
I'm listening to
I don't even know actually. Everyone's like
That extra credit would suck if it didn't actually win you.
What?
What the hell?
I think mainly what's happening. Oh, let me see that.
So, I don't, yeah, you can Alright, you guys got 3 minutes, clean up around you. There's a lot of little paper things on the ground.
Wait, what?
Thank you guys for cooperating.
I see that right now.